Since retaking office, President Trump has been redecorating the White House to reflect his personal style. Style which can be best described as C-3PO's taint. And it's a project that's still continuing today.
The White House is unveiling a presidential walk of fame featuring portraits of U.S. presidents.
Oh, you know what? This is nice. But if I was president, I wouldn't plaster every foot of the place with gold, but if you're going to, this is a nice, inclusive gesture. Mr. Trump, I applaud your class.
With the exception of former President Joe Biden. The new display just outside the Oval Office along the colonnade there shows a framed photo of an Autopen writing Biden's signature in place of the former president's portrait.
Damn it! He got me! So, apparently Trump is trolling Biden about the Autopen conspiracy. A hilarious burn that will make millions of Americans say, wait, what was that about again? But enough of this dumb story about the president's pettiness. Let's move on to a much more terrifying story about the president's pettiness.
This morning, after an intense public pressure campaign, sources tell ABC News President Trump's new hand-picked U.S. attorney plans to give him what he's been demanding and seek to indict former FBI Director James Comey, despite other prosecutors finding there's not enough evidence to charge him with a crime.
I don't know what's worse. Donald Trump weaponizing the Justice Department or the fact that he's doing it to go after James Comey. I mean, Trump, he's the dude who got you elected president. Remember, he announced a few days before Election Day that he was investigating Hillary for her email server. And America was like, we can't have a president with such disrespect for proper procedure. Let's elect Donald Trump instead. Like Donald, a question, Donald. How can you go after a guy who played a key role in you winning the election? What's next? Are you going to go after podcasts with names like The Chode Kings or Roiding Out with the Jizz Brothers? I mean, you don't even know if that's a real podcast or not. He may have appeared on that. Look, now, even though prosecutors say they don't have a case against Comey, Trump seems to have found a loophole. Appoint a prosecutor who doesn't care.
Sources say the president forced out his own appointed U.S. attorney for Eastern Virginia, replacing him with one of his personal lawyers, Lindsey Halligan.
Wow. One of his personal lawyers. She must have a ton of experience in the criminal justice system. I bet she knows her way around a grand jury.
Halligan, an insurance lawyer, has never prosecuted a criminal case in her career or presented evidence to a grand jury.
Okay. This sounds bad, but at least she is a lawyer. I mean, in this administration, that's well above the baseline. There was a really good chance he could have appointed the Jizz Brothers for this job, but you got to figure, if he's trusting Lindsey Halligan to go after his political enemies, the vetting process must have been extremely thorough.
She told the Washington Post that she ended up on Trump's legal team after showing up at one of his golf events in a suit, prompting Trump to hire her just weeks later.
This is how he picks members of his team? You, the lady in the suit, come join my legal team. Does Trump look at David Byrne like, wow, he must have been top of the class at Harvard Law? Wow. And I'm all for dressing for the job you want, but come on, she must have some other qualifications Trump valued.
She's also a former contestant in Miss Colorado, USA.
This is all starting to make sense, though. When Trump hires people, they're either beauty queens or the ugliest bog creatures in the world. So, the bad news is Trump continues to appoint people to positions they're completely unqualified for. But the good news is Trump continues to appoint people to positions they're completely unqualified for. In other words, don't worry, James Comey. You don't have to learn how to make toilet hooch just yet. For more on the looming Comey indictment, we go live to the Department of Justice with Troy Iwata. Troy. isn't this embarrassing for the Justice Department? Lindsey Halligan is clearly out of her depth.
Absolutely. She may be the most unqualified U.S. attorney ever. So unqualified that I'm kind of rooting for her.
Wait, what do you mean you're rooting for?
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's triggering my American love for an underdog. You know, it kind of feels like a movie. Like, I don't know if it's like the legal part or the blonde part, but it's reminding me of that movie. You know that movie, My Cousin Vinny?
Don't you mean Legally Blonde?
Oh my God, yeah, that one too.
Okay.
It's just like a movie. A former beauty contestant trying her very first case against the former head of the FBI, and we get to root for her in real life? You go, girl! I will be there front row opening weekend.
But trials don't have opening weekends.
Okay, opening arguments, whatever the legal stuff is. I don't know. We're gonna learn about it while she's learning about it. Like, we're on this journey together.
This is not a movie, Troy. This is going to be a real indictment that Lindsey Halligan has no business bringing.
You say that now, but wait till she gets together with her best friend, a quirky nail technician who tells her, wow, you're gonna make a really great law person one day.
Is that Jennifer Coolidge? Why is she in this trial?
She fills the seats, Jordan. You know, she's gonna help Lindsey get over her ex. They're gonna learn the case in a fun montage, and Lindsey will lose her confidence enough to consider quitting, but then she'll change her outfit into something fierce and they'll win the whole case. Happy ending, credits roll on this perfect day.
Okay, Troy, this is what I'm talking about. Your happy ending involves an innocent man being sent to prison by a vengeful president. This isn't a movie, it's undermining democracy. If I may quote from the January 6th Select Committee, the rule of law is a sacred hallmark.
Oh my God, that's so boring. Okay, so if you want me to care, you gotta put it in movie terms, because this is America, all right? You need to sell it to us, Jordan. Give me the trailer.
Okay, all right. How about this? A bad boy, former FBI director.
Good.
Wrongfully arrested.
Hot.
Falls in love.
Yeah, I'm so gonna see this.
Okay, with the legal foundations of due process.
Oh, you lost me.
Okay, and it's in 3D.
Oh, I'm back in. I love 3D. Love 3D. It's like it's happening all around me.
Yeah, it almost is. Troy Iwata, everybody.